Jam. Toon Jam.
Hello and welcome to Toon Jam. I am Matt.
And I'm Jamie.
And today we are getting robotic. Hello, I am a robot.
Robot.
Enough of that. And we are talking all about Cubix. Robots for everyone. So maybe you watched Cubix, maybe you didn't. But here's a bit of information about Cubix. It is a South Korean cartoon created by Cinepix and licensed by 4Kids Entertainment in North America. Aired for 2 seasons on Kids WB and lasting from August 11th, 2001 to May the 10th, 2003. To help provide affiliates a half-hour of educational and informational programming credit, the series was later recast on Foxbox, owned by 4Kids Entertainment, later renamed 4Kids TV. Some unnecessary details here for you, if you want them. And that ran from August 30th to 2003 to June 12th, 2004. The show remained off-air until 2010 when it resurfaced on 4Kids, then current block the CW 4Kids, later renamed Toonzai on the CW. In 2012, the license for Cubix was purchased by Saban Brands. We all know Saban Brands from their mammoth show, Power Rangers. Requires me to talk very quietly. And aired on Vortex Block, but was removed from the block after 4 weeks in 2012 and replaced with another episode of Rescue Heroes. Since September 2007, the show has been streaming online, being uploaded in its entirety as of early 2008, first on the now defunct 4Kids TV website and now on Hulu. Both seasons were broadcast in the UK on Cartoon Network UK. As of 2010, the series is airing on the UK kids TV channel Pop. The show has been the theme of 3 video games, which are Cubix, Robots for Everyone Showdown, Clash and Bash, and Racing Robots.
Oh.
So there you go. 2 seasons, 26 episodes. That's Cubix in a nutshell. Had you ever seen Cubix before?
Yeah, I didn't. It didn't like. It sort of rang a bell, and then when I saw the opening theme, I was like, "Oh yeah, I have seen this before." I can't remember. Yeah, I remember this song.
Yeah, I remember watching it on Cartoon Network when it was on. I loved it. I was like obsessed with it when it came out.
Big Cubix fan.
Yeah. I used to watch it in the mornings before school, I think. Or it might have been as I just got in. But I just remember being like, this is amazing. I don't know why I loved it so much. But I did. And because obviously we talk all the time about how they showed stuff. I was desperate to see, how it ended.
Yeah.
It really starts leading somewhere, as I remember. And I just never saw the end.
Oh.
So maybe now's the time to catch up. We shall see. Yeah, I used to love it. So there was definitely an air of nostalgia about it, which I tried to remain clear-headed, but we shall see how well.
We'll see. It's already a thumbs up from that.
But yeah, so before we get started, let's take to the internet. What are people saying about Cubix?
There seems to be like a mixed reaction to Cubix. Like, I think people just remember it as one of those shows that they watched. It keeps coming up in threads on Twitter as like, tell me a show that no one else seems to remember, and then it's just full of people saying Cubix. So obviously that's not one. But so I've got Do the Deal says, I remember watching Cubix. I don't remember a thing that happened on it. So clearly it's in people's memories, but not any details. Same with me, really. The Queen Athena says, I used to have a Cubix figure, but my parents gave it away with the rest of my cool toys. Sad face. So
Right. So there's a fond memory at least.
Yeah, I imagine the figures are pretty cool, but we'll get to that. we may get to that. Victor Anita Aus 8 says, Iron Kid may be underrated, which I assume is another show, but Cubix is underhated.
Oh,
so controversial.
why?
So apparently some people do not like Cubix.
Yeah.
And then last one from Lovable Pyro says, gonna be honest, I never watched Cubix. I just collected the Burger King toys.
Oh.
So, yeah, neutral one to end on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So, absolute clean slate for Cubix.
Yeah, some people hate it. Some people love it. Most people don't really remember it, apparently.
Yeah. You included.
Yeah.
I'm one of the weird guys that loves it. Or loved it. Let's see. Oh,
it's already in. It's in the bag.
So, so okay. That's sort of let's dig in. Cubix as a concept. It's essentially Pokemon meets like reboot.
Yeah.
It's like you instead of collecting Pokemon, there's robots.
Yeah,
everyone's got a robot. He's moving to this robot town. He's the only guy without a robot. He finds Cubix.
Yeah, stumbles upon some kind of robot chop shop, which has got like some sort of Theosaurus like name that's just like not quite chop shop, but it's
what was it like the pit or something?
Yeah, it's like a something pit. Yeah. And ends up finding just this one robot in the back that he seems very drawn to, and in order to get the job there, instead of like a normal job interview, they have like an initiation, like a gang, which furthers the idea that this is a chop shop run by some sort of seedy notorious gang. And so he's got 24 hours to rebuild a robot, and he picks Cubix, doesn't he? So
and Cubix is like he has an affinity, but everyone's saying you can't build Cubix. Like no one's fixed him. So that's that's all part of it. Let's sort of talk about the sort of aesthetics of it. So the town he's in, is it Bubble Town? It's called.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is a town filled with robots. I don't know. There's something about this town that is just, it looks pleasing to the eye, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I think this is part of what I liked about Cubix. And I kind of remembered it's like the aesthetics are some of the best things about it. It's so colourful. And the town, like how good would it be to live in a town filled with robots that are seemingly sound characters.
Yeah, and it's just like it's like an idealistic kind of like suburbia or whatever. There's like palm trees always in the back, and like all the houses look like nice and neat, and all the roads and stuff are just like perfectly aligned and spaced out, and like everything just looks really pleasant. Looks like a pleasant place to be.
What's interesting about it as well is the sort of the fact that it's a CG cartoon, but the art style is pretty much straightforward Japanese anime art style, which I don't feel like we've seen that.
No.
CG anime, like 3D anime.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's quite different, and it's strange at times. I think like sometimes the faces can look really odd because like in anime drawings and stuff, like some of the faces, like the your details basically like in the eyes and mouth, and then everything else is just kind of blank or whatever. There's usually like some shading or whatever. So sometimes like there'll be like expressions on people's faces, and their faces are just really empty because it's just like eyes.
It's like the CG hasn't quite caught up to where it wants to be.
Yeah, or like the the conversion of going like from the page to CG just doesn't quite work for some reason.
Yeah.
Like most of the time it's fine, but like every now and then it'll be like this. Why does his face look so weird?
Yeah. But I think there's stuff like, say, his dad hates robots. He works in a donut shop.
Yeah. Which is
his donut shop that just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's really odd, that is, because I assume that's the new job he got, which is why they moved to town. So
Yeah.
he's obviously getting paid stacks at this donut shop because they've been able to uproot their entire life to move.
Well,
to
it's like I couldn't figure out, is it his donut shop?
Oh, maybe it is.
So I don't know if he was just starting up a new donut shop.
Yeah, he
Town.
seemed pretty scattered in there, though, didn't he? Like he didn't know what he was doing. So, maybe
And he can't get on with robots. He's such a,
technophobe.
Yeah, technophobe, exactly. He's really not getting on with it. But that's a little side story that is absolutely unnecessary, but classic sort of anime.
Yeah.
Just a bit of spice for you to laugh at.
That's it, yeah. Because if you hated robots, like you're definitely going to move to that town that's populated full of robots. Seems like a good idea.
But it's got like, there's a classic sort of Japanese anime edition of like every time Cubix does anything, you get a full-on cutscene of him transforming.
Oh yeah, the transformation scenes are. It just seems right, doesn't it?
Yeah, like,
when they start happening,
here we go.
Like, oh, yeah, okay. This is happening now.
But it's like he's like his normal self,
and
then he transforms into a scooter. So you see that it's like, and it's like, yeah, like robots for everyone.
Yeah,
that's cool. And then he transforms back into himself.
Yeah,
and you have to go through the same. Transformation.
Reverse tiles.
And it's like, we don't need to see it every time. Like once an episode is fine.
Yeah.
Because it's something that like it's kind of annoying, but also you love it when it happens.
Yeah, you love to see it.
So you don't want them to overdo it.
No.
And they do sometimes.
It does seem like an example. Yeah, I felt like I saw that enough times already in that one episode.
And the space between it must have been like not even 5 minutes.
No.
You're just like, this has just happened.
Yeah.
It's like with the same music.
Yeah. It's funny because Cubix is like it's a very weird design. It's like I'm sure there was some specific kids' toys that it looks exactly like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like it looks very familiar. Like without knowing Cubix already, he already looked familiar.
Yeah, everyone says he looks like a Rubik's cube, but it's not quite that. I swear there's some sort of building toy that's sort of like some sort of pseudo Lego that you can get that Cubix looks like he's made entirely out of that. Yeah. But that's kind of the point, isn't it? That he transforms. Yeah. He's just a different blocks, so they just move around, whatever. Yeah. Whereas everybody else's robot just pretty much it does what it does. Yeah. Like the first one he kind of comes across is the girl who lives down the road from him. She's got like a little bug type robot thing because they all look quite different, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So hers is like a sort of a mixture between, a butterfly and Pikachu. It's kind of a little yellow robot with wings. And then you've got the brainy kid who's got like this brainy looking robot.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure there's like the big kid has got some on wheels or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Can't remember some bigger one. They kind of match them, don't they?
Yeah.
As is the case. But yeah, Cubix is like a step ahead of the game.
Even though it seems to be like an old model or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was only one of them as well. So
yeah. Obviously,
there's only one. So
it's the only way it works. I think the thing that is kind of probably the worst thing about this cartoon is the voice acting.
Yeah.
Mainly, maybe not just the voice acting, the choice of sort of diary narration.
Yeah.
That really was like annoying. I'd had a tough time doing this. And I thought, this is never gonna happen. But then you know what? Something's changed.
Yeah, it's nothing worse than the narrator giving away what's about to happen.
Yeah, and you're just like, I already know anyway. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. It was already really obvious that he was gonna fix Cubix since the show's called Cubix.
And it's like there's an intro with Cubix and him
on Cubix. Like, yeah, he didn't really. It's not a hidden thing going on there. But then he's like, and I thought that was the end. Or so I thought.
Yeah.
Huh?
And then you've got like the what was hilarious. So he goes, like, to be fair, this chop shop, the manager's like, "Do you want a job?"
Yeah.
Straight off the bat. And the others are like, "Hey, that's not fair.
Yeah.
We have to do an initiation." So it seems more like they're running the place than the actual boss.
Yeah. Which I also thought was strange as well, because like if robots are such a big thing in that place, and she runs a place where they, like, you know, they do repairs on them, like, why is her entire staff built of like kids? Like, it just doesn't seem like a fantastic.
One other thing as well, you have the initiation is to fix a robot in 24 hours.
Yeah.
And he's literally just fixed a robot in a matter of minutes, just before
seconds, wasn't it? It was,
yeah.
Like the girl's robot broke, and they put a screwdriver inside of it.
And she couldn't even fix it. She works there. She couldn't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, where did her skills go then?
And somehow the angle that he moved that screwdriver in was like artistic, as the chop shop lady said. Like, it's really good. I've never seen work like this before. He was like inside the robot for like half a second.
Just moving stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think to be honest, there's a lot of points where it's almost like the choice of 3D animation has fueled like they can't do as much with it at the time.
Yeah. Like,
I'd say this is like the actual animation itself. It's like one up from Donkey Kong. Like, in its like timing and stuff. I mean, it did come out at a time when it was at a time where TV in general wasn't as funded.
Yeah.
Let alone sort of, animation on TV.
Yeah.
And sort of CG stuff. So it's like 2001. I mean, what was coming out then? Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
Which you can tell this is highly influenced by it. But I do think the whole robot thing they've done quite well.
Yeah.
And there's so many different types of robots. You are like, oh yeah, like, I wonder what this robot does, and they've got a robot for this, and robots for cutting hedges and doing work and serving donuts. And like robots are somewhat, I guess, underused in that respect. I guess there's Transformers and stuff, but
that's it. Yeah, it seems like quite a different kind of robot world, because it was just odd that they were in some sort of bizarre state in the middle where like the robots hadn't quite progressed to like they're like, be independent, but
they're like droids, aren't they?
Yeah, and they were very much in the middle, because even though they had the chop shop or whatever, they had robots that were there to like help fix the robots. So there was like, what was his name, like Dr. Fix-It and Diagnostics or whatever. So they had robots that could fix the robots, but they still hired children to do it. So I just don't really understand the work.
Well, you don't have to pay them, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
it's just volunteers.
So yeah, it's a strange work ideas in this world.
Yeah, but this is classic, like anime stuff. You look at even going back to Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's like you go off into the world and like life revolves around Pokemon.
Yeah,
it's kids just doing everything.
Kids are just left on their own.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, see you later. What's that? You're 14 now. Go catch a Pokemon. Get out of my house.
You get out. Go and live in the wild.
Yeah. I don't want to see you until you're a Pokemaster.
I want you to go and learn the trade that we all live on. Pokemon fighting.
That's it.
Like, how often do you see a builder that's actually building anything? There's probably a builder in Pokemon that is fighting Pokemon and has, like, you know, a Pokemon that carries girders.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually build.
No.
But somehow houses get made.
Yeah. Towns get made. These huge cities.
I know, that's it, yeah.
Giant gyms for battling Pokemon, but
that are really like ridiculous as well. Like, to design one of them gyms.
Oh yeah.
That takes some ingenuity.
But who doesn't?
Whereas this, you know, the droids are actually, or the robots are you know, they're pretty practical.
Yeah. Yeah, they seem pretty helpful. And we there's a clear villain in the episode as well, isn't there? With the crazy old guy that talks to some sort of alien thing.
See that alien thing? It's got that hilarious voice.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there?
And his robot's called, like, what is it, like Colossal or something?
Yeah.
He's just a bad robot.
And then he's clearly collecting, so, like, there's like some sort of disease running through robots that makes them go a bit like mental. There's like a darkness to town, and there's a gardener robot at the start that he's like, oh yeah, I can do topiary. And then all of a sudden he's like, you want it green, I hate green, and starts like killing everyone, smashing them in.
Classic robots going rogue.
Yeah. It was like, oh man, this is turned. So there's a cool, like, villainous aspect to it. There's clearly something going on.
Yeah.
And I do like that when they sort of, you know, when you sort of drip fed stuff, even if it turns out to be disappointing, it's good while it lasts.
Yeah.
It's like the Lost effect.
That's it.
In many ways, Cubix is the Lost of anime.
Yeah. It's been said before, but yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, shall we? Is there anything you want to cover? Anything else you want to cover, or?
No.
Shall we? Sorry, I cut you off.
Just interrupted you as you're about to send us away.
Right. Stop. Let's review. Today, I met a robot. I met several, in fact. That's right, me and Dad moved over to Bubbletown, the home of loads of robots. And I met one when it was spying on me. After it had done perving on me, I decided to fix it because I broke it. And then I nearly got a job at the chop shop. But at the chop shop, they made me fix another robot. I chose Cubix, and I had 24 hours to do so. During these 24 hours, I got to know my new friends that worked there, and instead of doing my work, I spent my time drinking Coca-Cola or other named products, and just having a general good time with my friends. Then it came to the time when they had to leave and finish their shift. That's when the work truly began. Over the next 11 hours, I spent my time using a spanner and just touching bits of the robot as if I was doing things, but in fact, it was not really broken, so I didn't know what to do. By the time it had all ended, I guess nothing really happened. I thought it was all over. Or was it? No, it turned out me saying the word friend had fixed him all along. Hey, there was nothing wrong with him, and he worked, and I got the job. And isn't that all that matters? Being a kid and having a job. That's great. Thank you, Cubix. What a day. So here at Toon Jam, we have a 3-point rating system that goes as follows. Thumbs up. It's an emotion-driven EPU. Yeah, that's pretty good. Thumbs down, the colour green. Ooh, don't get me started. And shaky middle, you know, what the kids are doing in over in anime. like just their life in general. What a strange world. So, good, bad, or not really sure what's going on there. Cubix, robots for everyone.
Everyone.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, Cubix is a weird. Felt like it did feel like nostalgic in a way, like, because I think it's just got those aesthetics. It looks like it's made in the early 2000s or so. Like, but you know, it's the environment's very nice. It's a very pleasant little town, and although faces look odd sometimes, and you know, the CGI is not quite there as you expect from that period, and it makes me wonder if we knew that back then, but we just lied to ourselves to be like, this looks really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, like looking at it, it was tough sometimes, but you know, it was all right. It was good for the time. And the stories, like I think like it could be fun as it opens up. You know, this was very much an episode 1, in the fact that, you know, the main character pretty much wasn't alive until like the last 5 minutes or whatever. So, and then, you know, proceeds to stop several buildings from falling down, which is apparently something that happens in Bubble Town quite a lot. So there's definitely some questionable story elements. The characters are all right. I mean, I'd like the kid more if you didn't narrate the show. And you know, there's also his little buddies. I guess they seem nice enough. There's that one kid that's got a really annoying voice though, so that's something you're gonna have to put up with if you continue to watch.
Yeah, and I mean that's classic anime as well. That voice is just, I'm sure it's in every anime ever.
Yeah, it's unavoidable. So I feel like if you're a kid watching it, there's probably a lot for you to get stuck into. And you know, the fact that the robots they're all different and they look pretty cool. That's always good in my books. I like a good robot. So I think overall it was all right. I don't know whether it'd be something I could sit and watch for for longer than that first episode. But I think it's a higher bar than some of the other shows at that time. I think it's sort of going to sit at a shaky middle for me. It's not quite. It's, you know, I couldn't be like, you know what, you should go check out Cubix. That's where it's all like, some stuff right. So you know, can't fault it on that. But I don't think I could sit through another 8 transformation sequences.
And that's in the first 5 minutes. So
yeah, I mean, you know, now he's fully formed as Cubix. Just think how many there's going to be.
Well, that's the thing. I do remember that every episode, because he's always changing into different things.
Yeah.
So you get at least 2 every episode. I'm guaranteed. But yeah, okay, shaky middle. Obviously, I had to combat my own nostalgia factor in this one. Really fond memories of watching it and just wishing I knew where it was going. I remember when they sort of stopped showing it and it was so gutting. So yeah, it was kind of like I was excited to watch it, also kind of terrified to watch it because I didn't want it to be bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was kind of going in with both high expectations and, you know, almost low expectations, just to kind of try and enjoy it. But I thought, you know, it's got, the story was good enough. It's nothing that we've probably not seen before.
Yeah. Just
with a new, as is with a lot of it, especially at the time, you know, like it's just a new take on Pokemon. Which we've watched loads like that, really. Like, it's crazy how much of a game changer that show really was. But it is just a new take on that, but with robots. But it's different enough. I mean, it's not even like monsters, so that's the first deal. I mean, we've watched others that are very similar but still feel different. Whereas this is like, you can see where the idea came from, but at the same time, you wouldn't just be like, oh, this is just basically Pokemon. And it's got that robot side where they're building stuff and that. Like I say, the diary is pretty annoying. Yeah. That does ruin things, but I did enjoy watching it, actually. I don't know how much of it is because I had fond memories of it. But I thought, you know, it had. I think again, it's those aesthetics that I enjoyed about it before, and I think it just gave me a nice feeling. And I think as a kid, I can't see there's not really much that you wouldn't enjoy about it. Really,
No,
it's got everything. And as well, I think the big thing is sort of at the end of the episode when you do see Cubix and he comes, even though he doesn't really do much, but he comes in and saves the kid, and it's a full-on moment of like, yes, like it's got a bit of impact in that moment. And I think I've always sort of liked stuff like that, and it was sort of like, you know, you protected him. It was that hero moment.
Yeah.
And I liked that about it, and I did like it, and it was, even though he was very undeveloped in this episode, which he's bound to be, you wouldn't expect any more. But yeah, I thought it was all right, and I thought it played pretty well. The characters were fine. There were bits where it was like say with the sort of their friendship montage.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bit like, how long's this taken? Like 1 hour.
Yeah.
And all of it reminded me a bit of something like Kingdom Hearts, in many ways, actually. But yeah, I think, you know, it's not the best thing we've ever watched, but I do think I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Oh, I knew it all along.
You knew it all along. I was going to fight it. I nearly went middle just because I was like, no, come on. But then I was like, I'm just lying to myself.
Yeah, if you like it, you like it.
I like it. So yeah, for those of you that are hating on Cubix, that's fair enough, but shut up. Because I like it, baby. But no, maybe you didn't agree with us. Maybe you have a valid reason. Feel free to let us know on the 3 cubes of the internet: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can get in touch with us on @ToonJamPod. You can always, if you enjoyed today's episode, please feel free to rate and review us. It really helps us out, and it helps other people find us. You can also get bonus episodes over on our Patreon, and that is links to that are on our social medias. What is the address of our Patreon? Is it just
patreon.com/ToonJamPod?
There you go. All very simple. Toon Jam Pod. Stick to that. You will not go wrong. Otherwise, thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. And until next week, and make sure it's until then, you stay jammy.
Hey everyone. Thank you for listening. If you want to help the show keep going, you can be extra jammy by heading over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/ToonJamPod. Here you can get a shout out on the show or unlock bonus episodes. Ratings and reviews anywhere you listen to the podcast also really help us out. So thank you, and stay jammy.